Hi everyone, it's Lavinia. Welcome to Inktober 2025. I am participating in the challenge, which is the Inktober Zentangle challenge, and I had bought the kit from Minutes of Zen, Kelly Bluen. So I have here my bijou tile, the Zentangle tile, where I will be drawing my day one, which is Festune. I have my calendar here, so I am going to add here for October 1st the Tangle, and then I have here the page where I'm going to be adding the tangles each day. And I just wanted to show you really quickly that this is just a journal where I sometimes practice the tangles, and this is what we're working on, Festune. So I'm going to go ahead. You can start with a pencil if you'd like. So this is just any graphite pencil is fine. And then I have here this Micron PN pen, which came as part of the kit. But again, you can even use a ballpoint pen. I do have some smudging tools. There's one that came in the kit, but I have these because I have a bunch of them, because I think that, at least for the one that I put on the calendar, I might use my soft pastels just to give it a little bit of color. So in order to draw Festune, it's really simple. So I'm going to add it here to day one. Let me just see if I can zoom in. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw an oval. You can color it in if you'd like. You don't have to. And then I'm just going to draw a larger oval. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. Zentangle is all about meditation and repetitive lines. And then from here, from the center, just going to draw some curves, some curved lines. So from this center to the side, and you can rotate your page if you'd like. So just as simple as that, we are drawing Festune. And then there are a lot of variations. For example, you can color in here the sides and make it a little bit more rounded. I'm just going to go ahead and put a dot instead here at each end. And when I think of Festune, I don't know, it either reminds me of, something festive like a cookie, or maybe a firework. And then again, if you wanted to color this in, you can. You can add some more decorations. So I am going to put here that this is Festune. So that's the basic of that. And now if we go to the tile, we can go ahead and add some more. Let's see if I maybe put this here so you can see it a little bit better. So I'm just going to draw that small little bean-shaped oval. This one I'm going to go ahead and color in, and then just draw a larger oval. And then just some curved shapes. You can go the opposite way. It's your drawing, so just make it however you'd like. Just going to do another one here. Maybe this one will be a bit bigger, and it can go behind. Just like that. Again, I can add those little circles. Maybe I will leave these like little orbs. Just like that. And then maybe just another one here. And if it's a little bit crooked, that's fine. And just coming to the edges there, and let's go ahead and put those little orbs. And then if we wanted to give it some shading, we'll just take that graphite pencil and just come along the edges here. I think I also want to put it here where these lines are. I think this is a little bit too slippery. There we go, that's better. So I'm just running this graphite along where these lines are. And then here at the edges as well. And you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I sometimes also like to bring out my white charcoal pencil to give it some highlight as well. And again, just here at the edges and a little bit here, since this one is on top, I'm going to give it a little bit more shadow there too. And then I always think that this is the fun part where we take our little smudging tool, blending tool, tortillon, and then just blend that in. Just to give it a little bit of dimension and shadow. I could just do this all day. It's just so much fun. So you can already see how that's looking with that shadow there. I also love the sound of it on paper as it smudges along. Again, nothing has to be perfect. It's just a nice way to relax, to practice, enjoy some downtime. I'm going to put a little bit of that here. So you can already see how that looks. Very pretty. And then let me go back to this one here because I wanted to add a little bit of the pastel pencil to this. So just to give you an idea. So if I were to take the pastel pencil, I would do the same thing, just go along here, the edge. And I think for each day, I'll just make it a different color. So this one looks like it already has a little bit of that blue on here. So just going to take that and smudge it along. With the pastel pencils, a little bit goes a very long way. Just to give it a little bit of color there. So that's that one. And then to put it here on the larger page, I think, let's go ahead and use our pen. I think I'm just going to go ahead and start over here. So I'm going to put that little bean, and then that'll be there. And then just start to put my lines. And then maybe the next one over here. I'm gonna make it just a little bit bigger. And then just start to put those lines. It's just a little bit of a curve. And then maybe if I wanted to make these lines here a little bit thicker, I could go ahead and do that just for something different here on this page. So what I'm doing is I'm just starting here and then just widening a little bit. There's so many variations, so go ahead and give a try. And there's so many videos out there too of folks participating in this Inktober. These remind me of those candies. I usually get them at Hobby Lobby, the strawberry or the orange flavored swirled candies. So just making it a little bit thicker and then just coloring it in. And maybe I will just add one more over here. And even though this looks like there's more space here, but again, I just want to give it a little bit of a 3-dimension. So I think it's just fun to experiment. And I'm going to do the same thing, just thickening the lines here a little bit. So that's about like 3 variations that I've done with this tangle. And this tangle is by Zentangle. There's different artists that create and then they become sort of like official tangles. Okay, just like that. And then I will take the pencil, the graphite here, and just give it a little bit of dimension. So just going over it lightly, maybe here in the center too. And this one overlaps this one, so I'm going to come on this outer edge and the same thing here. Then I'm just going to follow along this edge here. little bit here in the middle as well. So I hope you grab pen, pencil, paper. If you don't have one of these blending tools or smudging tools, you could always use a piece of paper or a tissue. Or again, you don't have to do it at all if you don't want to. So just pushing that graphite into the paper. It'll come across here as well. Actually, just going to use this brush too. This is a makeup brush that I never used. I just like using that rather than my hands, just so that it doesn't carry across the paper. I think this is going to be so much fun once we have all the other tangles being added. Okay, we are almost done. All right, so this is Festune. There. So with the graphite, the thicker centers there, and then this with the pastel pencil. Looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye.